Hello, this is Victoria Duff. I'd like to welcome you all to Latona's Open House. Today we are showcasing StuckMic.com, and I'd like to introduce Adam Rhodes, the seller. Adam, say hello.
Hello.
Welcome. So let me just do a little bit of housekeeping here. Anybody on the call, if you're having audio problems or you want to ask a question, please use the software panel to the right of your screen. All right, this is the deal. $64.2 thousand in annual revenue, $63,000 in annual profit, and $230,000 current asking price. All right, Adam, tell us a little bit about the history of the site. Adam?
Sure. Stuck Mic was founded in 1999. Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay. Stuck Mic was founded in 1999 as a place for a discussion forum for air traffic controllers to discuss career opportunities and network. It grew over about a decade of time, and in 2008 I purchased the domain name from the original owner, and I continued on with the same concept he had as far as being a discussion forum as well as information resource for air traffic controllers over the last 6 years. I just grew the site, and it just basically, like I said before, it just hosts air traffic controllers discussions. Also, it hosts all sorts of aviation, different discussions, different career fields such as pilots and mechanics, and there's forums for all of that, but it focuses on air traffic control and air traffic control hiring.
How many forums do you have, and how many registered participants?
As far as the forums, I'm not quite sure. I'd really have to take a look. I apologize. There's one main forum for air traffic control, and there's a lot of subcategories. There's other.
Hello, Adam. I think we lost you. Okay, Adam, congratulations. We have you back on. Let me just go back a little ways. I've been kind of moving through the site here. Tell us a little bit about your traffic. Why did it increase here in the spring of this year?
Okay, yeah, I apologize for that. I just having internet connectivity issues. The traffic increased earlier this year. There was the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, is the largest employer of air traffic controllers. In February of this year, they posted an open announcement for hiring, allowing really anyone with some very minimum qualifications to apply for the career field of air traffic control. When that happens, and with the links that we have scattered throughout the internet, and just with the popularity of our site, our traffic naturally increased because people came to our site looking for the information about the hiring process and how to get a job.
Okay, you do have a huge number of returning visitors. That's fairly normal for a forum site. What about your Facebook, your social network referrals?
Yeah, we have a few admins on. We actually have a Facebook page that was created just as a regular personal Facebook page initially years ago, and then we have our group Facebook page. So we have two different outlets. We are in the process of trying to transition everyone over to our public group page that they can just join, because we're limited on our private page how many friends that we can have. So between the two, though, I would say we have around 6,000 to 7,000 people that have joined or liked our page, and so we've through all of our admins, we've tried to kind of train to post at least once to twice a day, even more if possible, and we try to direct them back to our site through that as well. So it's just a tool that we use to increase our traffic and just keep people, on our website as much as we can.
How many admins do you have, and do you have any employees?
As far as admins on our Facebook page, we have 4, including myself. We have no employees, and we have some moderators on our forums as well. I think we have about 2 moderators at this time on our forums, and it's just we try to be fairly selective in who we choose to moderate or be an administrator. We've got a lot of interest in becoming one. We just haven't hired any additional at this time.
And you don't pay anybody; they just do it for the love of the industry. Is that correct?
That's correct. We've actually had some very involved administrators in the past that have contributed a lot of information to the website, which has helped it grow as well. And they just do it strictly on a volunteer basis.
Now, what about your backlinks here? Your trust flow and citation flow?
As far as the backlinks, and I'm not. We've reached out to some of the colleges that provide air traffic control degrees, and we've asked if they could promote our link on their site. We've had success with, I think, 3 or 4 of those, and just creating content via the forums is really where our links come from, and then those are generally, there's a few other discussion forums throughout the internet that involve air traffic control, very small ones, or just aviation in general, and I've seen that they've been posted on those sites as well, so we get a small amount of traffic from them as well.
Well, you also get a lot of search engine traffic here.
Yeah, we use a program called VBSEO for vBulletin. It's to optimize the URLs on our website. So when we do create content, almost immediately it's indexed by most likely within the first couple hours, it's indexed by the search engine. We've obviously got a long-standing rapport with the search engine since the site's been active since 1999, generating the same type of air traffic control content. So when we post something, it gets indexed fairly quick by the search engine. So we usually make it up on the first page of Google, depending on the topic, pretty quick.
Now, tell us a little bit about the ups and downs, so to speak, in your traffic from 20,000 to 40,000. What happened there? Is this just the beginning of the year that you were talking about?
Yeah. What happened where that big dip, I would say, from, it looks like it shows August 13th through the end of the year. Last year was it was just something really, it's hard to explain it without getting into much detail about the career field, but as a lot of you guys and gals possibly could recall, the government shutdown and the sequestration last year. Well, Air traffic control is, again, the major employers of Federal Aviation Administration, which is a government entity. And when the shutdown and the sequestration happened, they shut down the Air Traffic Control Academy because they didn't have the funding for it. And that's when the traffic died, because there was not much happening as far as hiring, and that's where we get our a lot of our traffic from, is people that are trying to get into the career field. So when that occurred, the just traffic died until there were rumors of the hiring to pick back up in February. Now the government, the House and the Senate did vote on a resolution to prevent the Air Traffic Control Academy from shutting down again like it did, even in the event of another shutdown because of budget concerns. But so most likely we won't see that occur. And this was the first time that the academy was shut down in probably a couple decades due to that. So I don't anticipate that happening again. But again, and where it peaks there in February, that's when we get a lot of traffic due to the hiring rumors and the information. Now the hiring process takes can take anywhere from 1 to 3 years just to get in. That's after your initial application. So even though it has started to taper down, it's just there's a lull and right now and in hiring. And we expect, as the FAA starts to get closer to actually putting these guys into the academy, we'll start to see that traffic increase again. But right now, I just look, and we're averaging around 100,000, just under 100,000 visits for the last 30 days.
Adam, would you say that you're one of the mainstays of the industry? Are you one of the key sources for information?
Yeah, as far as the website's concerned, yes, people come to our website for information. You know, rumors as well. The forums obviously generate a lot of those rumors, but it's people that are in the industry. We get a lot of people that, you know, most of our members are in the industry, and then we have a lot that are trying to become controllers. So we have a lot of information flowing. We're also connected fairly well with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, which we're linked on their website. They're the primary air traffic control union that represents over 15,000 controllers, and they're probably the biggest source of information. However, we get quite a bit more traffic than them. So we work with them fairly close just to help generate traffic in and out of each other's websites. And we also get referrals from the FAA employees themselves. So there's a lot of people that know about this website within the industry. I would say most people in the air traffic control industry are familiar with the site.
So you really are the main resource in the industry, in the air traffic controller industry. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that. And the only exception to that is you know, we are not an official resource or official source of information. You know, that being said, I would refer to the union or the actual FAA for that, but we are probably the biggest resource for information on the career field.
All right, so now we're getting into some of the admin panels that you very kindly sent us. Tell us what we're looking at here.
This is just a guide. It kind of explains what the career field is about and has links that direct to other areas of our website. You know, anyone that's, this is actually a paid feature, so you do not have access to it unless you are a paid a subscriber at a certain level. And this just allows you to access content that you really can't access anywhere else on the internet.
Like what kind of content? Adam, What kind of content would this be that couldn't be accessed anywhere else?
Well, it's just general, this is, and not to say that it can't be accessed anywhere else. It's just difficult to come across. We've scoured the internet. We've found a lot of content in various places, as well as our personal knowledge of the career field. I'm an air traffic controller. I've been a controller for over 16 years, and so this is information that we've put together in an easy to read, easy to understand manner, where that puts all the information that somebody looking to get into the career field is going to want to know, all in one location. You can find this information by searching forums upon forums, or many different websites, but there's nowhere else where it's pieced together that provides you with all the information about air traffic control, all of the facilities and the phone numbers and the pay, all of that you can't find anywhere.
Adam, how many hours does it take you to go through the site and make sure all of the information is up to date? How much research do you have to do?
Well, the information really doesn't change over the past 6 years since I've owned the website. Initially, it took me an enormous amount of time to collect all this information and put it together. But to maintain it doesn't take much time. The information really doesn't change. The processes really don't change that often. And when they do, uh, you can find out the process or the changes directly on our website through the forums, because that's where people go to talk about this stuff. So that's where, if anything is to change, I just kind of browse the forums and see what's going on. But right now, the pay stays the same. Really, everything stays the same. So there's not much maintenance as far as trying to update things. I'll routinely go through the links to make sure they still work. And it's here and there. If I see something on the forums that may have changed that people are discussing, I'll do some more research on it myself, and I'll make the change. But as far as a set amount of time, I spend very little time on the website. Most of my time on Stuck Mic right now is spent um, just managing the clients and basically the payments, making sure that I'm getting paid by the clients. Other than that, there's not much time spent at this point.
When you say clients, you're talking about ad networks or direct ad sales?
Yeah, direct advertising right now, and that's not really. It's just sending the invoices and just ensuring that we're getting paid when we're supposed to get paid, and that doesn't take much time at all. That's for our direct advertisers. The other advertising we have comes through Google AdSense, and then the other income we have comes through the subscription, and they both run themselves, so I don't really have much to do with that.
So maybe an hour a day max? Would you say that you spend maybe an hour a day maximum?
Um, I probably spend less than an hour a day. I'd probably say I spend uh, maybe a couple hours a week. It was probably more accurate.
Now, you mentioned that you have a lot of volunteers who are very involved in the industry. If a new buyer came in to buy this and was not as involved in the industry as you are, would some of the volunteers be uh, interested in alerting the new buyer, working with the new buyer to make sure that the information on the website was up to date when something did change?
Of course. I mean, as of right now, because I'm in this career field, um, I actually I I don't associate my real name on the website in any means on Facebook, and so no one even knows that I'm an air traffic controller right now. If I actually get alerted by some of the volunteers when things are happening. I'm not as up to date on the hiring process as I was when I got hired with the FAA. So a lot of the information I've received, again, are through the forums or through volunteers that are currently, usually the best volunteers you get are people that are currently in the process trying to wait to get hired, and it's it's through them that I've actually gotten a lot of my information and direction on what I need to do as far as adding content to the site. But there are plenty of volunteers that have expressed interest in trying to get involved in the website. Probably just really too many to even entertain. So, and if a new owner would want more volunteers, they're a dime a dozen, really.
So a new owner, there really isn't a challenge regarding keeping the site up to date for a new owner. What what challenges might there be that you could foresee?
You know, the biggest thing is just to kind of wrap your head around this career field. It's not a challenge for me because I have a lot of knowledge about it. I can, I can anticipate certain things about the career field. Um, but the challenge is just understanding the field in general, how the process works, how the hiring works, because a lot of our members are looking to get hired, and trying to cater to that group of people, making sure that you're providing information and resources, you know, to those group of people is probably the most challenging. But I would say that with the having good administrators and moderators that are in that process are really what you need. Somebody that's dedicated. There is plenty of people that have expressed interest in working on the website, and they would do it all for free. They just want to be a part of this website. This website's helped thousands of people get a job in the career field. So if you're in the air traffic control industry, everybody knows what Stuck Mic is. And so just to be a part of a website like this, there's thousands of people that would be willing to help out just to say that they're a part of the site.
So you get referrals from happy users and also from educational facilities. Do you do any kind of promotion?
No, we don't. We don't. I've never paid for advertising for Stuck Mic. It's actually something I've been entertaining. Maybe doing an AdWords campaign or even a Facebook campaign, but I've never done advertising at all. Everything we get is organic or referrals, or just word of mouth referrals. People come in directly to the site because they heard about it through somebody else. But we have no paid advertising at all.
Do you keep emails and do you send out newsletters?
Yes, I don't currently. We have done that. We do have around 20,000 email addresses that we've obtained legitimately through registrations. Our registration process, we actually, through the help of eye contact and constant contact, we designed a registration process to ensure that the registered users, understand that we will send them not just information through our website about our website. We'll also send them advertisements through third parties. And again, we've had to go through an audit process with the two big email marketing groups, Constant Contact and Eye Contact, to ensure that we're collecting these addresses legitimately, and we are, and we have again, we have used that in the past to reach out to our membership, but mostly we'll use our email system to send out promotions through some of our advertisers for housing and maybe other things that they're looking to reach out to our community for.
Good. So tell us, what are we looking at in this slide? Adam, what are we looking at on this slide?
Oh, this is just a map of obviously the United States, and within that map, you click on any state, and it's going to bring up the list of the air traffic control facilities within that state, and it's going to give you information as far as what type of facilities are available, the phone numbers, the fax numbers, the addresses, the pay information, how much you're going to make when you get there as a new controller, and how much you're going to make as a veteran controller. And this is what we see a lot of people want. So it's a good resource. You actually can't find this information anywhere. I got this information because I am an FAA employee, and I was able to put it together myself.
And if you sell the site, there won't be any problem using this information. Is that correct?
No, not at all. This information is accessible with our paid subscriptions. I think our silver membership and above, which is $8.99 a month or higher, but there will be no problem at all using that information. I think maybe you're referencing that I got it as an FAA employee, but this is it is public information. It is just very, very, very difficult to obtain, and because I'm an FAA employee, I can obtain this information fairly easy. But it is public. It's just you would have to do a specific search for every single facility in the United States, and it would be very time-consuming to do that. This has it all in one location.
Now, what are we looking at here on this slide?
Oh, this is again, this is the pay information. So if you were to click that link with the United States, it would bring up certain facilities. This is in Texas. This is Houston TRACON, which is an approach control. So it's telling you what the facility level is, which people want to know. It's a 12, which is the highest in the FAA. It tells you the locality percentage, which is another thing people want to know because it affects their pay. And it tells you what you're going to get paid throughout the different stages of your training. It kind of explains it through there. So it tells you your minimum pay that you'll make. And then when you certify, it'll tell you the minimum and the maximum that you pay when you get certified as well.
Okay, let's move to the next slide. And what is this?
This is just a screenshot from our ATSAT. It's the Air Traffic Standard Aptitude Test, kind of like the doctors' MCATs or the lawyers' LSAT. The air traffic controller, in order to get into this career field, you have to pass the ATSAT. There's a lot of websites that offer preparation guides and tools. We have created a free PDF guide that we have allowed our members to use, which is one of the best ones on the internet. And from that PDF guide that we created, we also created an interactive online test, time test that you could take. So we took the questions from our guide and turned it into a quiz online, so people that pay for our Platinum membership and above can access this test and practice it as if they were preparing to take the real test to become an air traffic controller.
And should the test change, should some of the questions change, you would have access to that information. Is that right?
No, not at all. That test is, they're not going to give the answers out to the test. We'll have an idea through our members. However, the test they can't just change it. It's not, this is a federal, anything, as you guys may be aware of, I'm a little more privy to it, I suppose, because I've been working for the government for so long, but the government doesn't change anything, and if they do, it takes years upon years to do it. It almost takes an act of Congress to change something. They just can't arbitrarily come in and make changes without it going through an audit process and a testing process. So they did recently change a portion of the ATSAT. It didn't change. They basically took a section out of it. They didn't add anything to it. They took a section out of it. So I don't anticipate anything at all anytime soon changing the ATSAT, and we would know about it if it did, but I really don't anticipate that happening at all.
Okay, what are we looking at here in this slide?
These are housing providers in the Oklahoma City area. Oklahoma City is where the Air Traffic Control Academy is. So once you pass the test and once you pass all the initial screenings to become an air traffic controller, you'll be offered a job. And the first portion of that process is to attend the Air Traffic Control Academy in Oklahoma City. And you'll stay there for anywhere as a new controller from anywhere from 6 weeks to about 4 months. And so we have, these are some of our advertisers that we have. They offer they offer housing to the Air Traffic Control Academy students. So these are reviews that we've created a section for these clients where they can have just our members can get more information about the properties that are available to them when they go to the academy. And we refer probably I would say probably 20% of their of the overall clientele to the Oklahoma City area. We refer about 20%. The others are referred just through the FAA.
And what about this slide? What are we looking at here?
This is just an opportunity where controllers that are currently in the field and they want to change locations, they want to go to another facility, they can click on this map and see if there's other controllers throughout the U.S. that want to come to their facility so they can do a swap. So if I want to go to Chicago and somebody from Chicago wants to come to Houston, we can mutually agree upon it, and we can basically swap. We can change locations with really little to no paperwork or effort. So it's just another means that rather than having to wait for the employer to have a job opening at that location, if I find somebody at that location that I want to go at, we can just make a swap ourselves. So this helps facilitate that.
All right, let's talk about revenue here. You do have a big spike in that period of time we've already discussed. Where do you get your revenue?
Okay, again, the revenues from the housing providers, which will sell ad space on our website, as well as create the review section for them and let them just access our forums and chat with our members. So it comes through that. It comes through AdSense and also with our subscriptions. We also sell our, as I think I stated before, our email list. So we'll have our, if somebody wants to reach out to our members, we will have them generate a mailing or generate a newsletter and send us the HTML file for it, and then we'll go into our Constant Contact or iContact and upload that newsletter and send it to our membership on behalf of that advertiser. the spike you see is one of our advertisers paying for a handful of newsletters that just recently has expired. So they wanted, we charge about $100 per 1,000 members. So right now we're charging for our email list about $2,500 anytime somebody wants to send one out, plus a processing fee to actually upload it. So at the time we had about probably around 23,000 members, and this client paid for, I believe it was 8 emails.
Contacted by somebody who wants to access your mailing list. And do you do any promotion? Do you think that there's a potential for selling the mailing list like this?
Um, yeah, I'm sure anytime, I'm sure with just the amount of emails we have, yeah, I'm sure there's somebody that would love to have that information. We've really never explored that other than just allowing anyone that wanted to advertise just another means for them to advertise. But I've never explored anything beyond that.
Providers that you haven't taken advantage of your website, that you haven't contacted and done business with?
Just
Adam, are there any housing providers that you could add to your list of advertisers?
Oh, definitely. There's actually quite a few. You can actually Google FAA Academy Housing, and the FAA has a list of all of the approved housing providers. That doesn't mean that if they aren't approved, they can't advertise or they can't house an Oklahoma or a student. These are the ones that the FAA is just, if they meet certain requirements, they're called an approved provider. But the FAA's approved provider list is quite a bit bigger than ours. I've really
Do
never
you
just,
do you promote to the FAA's list?
no, I don't. I don't promote to that list. The people that advertise on us have come to us out of the blue. I've never really in the past reached out to people. We've gone through a process where we've had more housing providers than we have now. We don't have as many as we used to have. That had to do partly with the sequestration and the shutdown last year. And again, it's just, I've just really not made it a priority to contact our former clients. This is kind of, I run this as a hobby. I'm not the most business savvy person. It makes money, and that's good for me. So really any more extra effort, I just haven't put forth that effort. I'm sure if the new owner got in, that I've got a past client list, and I have a pretty large list of potential clients. I just have never went after them. And there's also is any hotel, absolutely every single hotel in the Oklahoma City area or apartment complex is a potential advertiser on this website.
Now talk a little bit about your expenses. It looks like you have them pretty well under control.
Yeah, the expenses there's really not much. I have a few other websites, and so this just shares my monthly server bill. This obviously takes, quite a bit of the bandwidth, but I have a server bill. I have an answering system. It's just allows anyone that has, advertisers, or just a means for them, almost a voicemail system. So if I'm not available, I'll make sure I get that information. And so I have that, and then I have my invoicing system. So my invoicing system, my voicemail system, and then the server bill, and those are the only expenses for the website.
So when you wake up in the morning and you have your coffee and you sit down to manage your website, what do you do?
Well, yeah, I don't say I really do any of that, really. The website runs itself. It generates content on its own through the forums. People are posting things all day long, new topics. So it kind of manages itself. Um, I have a admin panel on the right side when I log into my account, and if there's posts that need to be moderated, or threads that need to be moderated, sometimes we get spammers that slip through our registration process, and but our system catches it, and then I'll usually just it'll flag the post, and it won't allow the post on our site, but I'll go ahead and just physically remove that post and ban the user in case they try to post anything else. You know, to me, some of the discussions are interesting. So if I see something just as the regular user would, I'll just go in and read, and then if I happen to see something that might be inappropriate that a moderator hasn't caught, I'll remove it. Really, it's just I almost interact as just a regular user, except if I see something that needs to be taken care of or addressed, I'll address it myself. But I really, again, it's more of a hobby to me than it is a job.
So where could this site go if there was somebody who wanted to turn it into a job? Where could they take it? How
There
big
are
could
just,
it get?
yeah, it could get a lot bigger than it is now. I have a full-time job. I have 5 kids. I have a lot of different hobbies as well, and so I can't treat this as a job, or I'd probably be divorced. Um, and somebody that really wanted to spend the time and really turn this into a 40-hour-a-week job. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. The FAA is their last hiring announcement in February, where you saw the big spike of traffic. There were over 28,000 people that applied for the job. We don't even, and that was just for one announcement. We don't even have 28,000 members. So we're not even, we probably haven't even come close to tapping into the amount of members that we could possibly have and people interacting on our site. The more members we have, the more products they're going to buy and subscriptions they're going to buy on our site, the more Google ads are going to click. And the FAA is planning on hiring 1,000 controllers a year for the next 10 years. So we anticipate the announcements to continue. There's other opportunities as far as trying to, anytime you have an audience as big as we do, not just for air traffic control information, these all our audience is anywhere between generally the ages of 20 and 35, and the average income for these people are around $100,000 a year. So trying to approach other advertisers, not just that have anything to do with aviation, but this is a prime, just if you want to spend the time and try to market your clients, or your members, these are prime people that advertisers want to reach out to. 20 to 35 and making $100,000 a year, that they can pretty much purchase anything that they want. There's other opportunities for if you're into graphic design, if you want to design T-shirts or other things that you think controllers would be interested in, and marketing those to our members as well. I mean, the biggest thing comes with our membership list, 25,000 people, and again, having the access to that many people, there's a huge potential for uh, if you just want to spend the time to kind of tap into that resource. But I don't have the time really.
Would you be available to the new owner to help learn how to run the site and give some advice as to where you would take the site if you had the time and the energy to do so?
Yeah, it's always, I'm going to be in this career field for a long time, so it's always interesting to me and a hobby, and I would be a contributing member to the website. I would imagine, you know, if I end up selling the website, I'd be happy to. I like talking about the career field. I think I've got a good idea of the direction that the field's going. I just don't have the time to put into it to make it continue to grow and to really tap. I mean, this website, I think if I wanted to turn this into my full-time job, I would be certain within a year or two I could generate 100,000 a year. You've seen with over the past since 2009, since probably the spring of 2009 until now, so over about 5 years, we've been very consistent at the money that has been coming in, and that's been with little to no effort. We've averaged probably 60 to 65,000 a year over the last 5 years with really no effort. So I can only imagine with an extra amount of effort what could happen. But I'd definitely be available to assist with ideas or even probably moderating in my spare time. I wouldn't want to be obligated to do that, but if I still had the permissions to moderate, I'd definitely be open to that.
Now, why are you selling the site?
Yeah, I've got there's a lot of different, reasons to sell the site. One of the, I've been with the site I've owned the site for, a little over 6 years now, and I'm just ready to do something else. I'm ready to, I really want to devote my time into doing something, and, part of my spare time into doing something, and, I feel like I've devoted it to this a lot over the last 6 years to get it to where it's at, and I'd like to kind of change the direction and where I spend my time at.
Okay, are there any questions from the audience that we haven't touched on yet? Well, if there are, the listing broker is Eric Lighton. So please refer your questions to him. He will be absolutely delighted to help you. And Adam, thank you so much. I know this has been kind of a kind of spotty presentation here, but technology. Anyway, thank you everyone for attending, and we shall see you next time.